We're now being joined by Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. Last year, he became the first African American elected to serve as the county's top official. And at 33 years old, also the youngest. He previously represented Milwaukee as a member of the Wisconsin State Assembly, serving from 2017 to 2020. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
It's always good to see you. And when you took office, Milwaukee County officials had already declared racism as a public health crisis. And so you basically picked up that commitment to put racial equity at the core of all county procedures and ultimately change the narrative of what has existed not only in Milwaukee County, but in the city of Milwaukee and across the state of Wisconsin. Talk a little bit about that commitment that you've made.
Well, absolutely. And great question and great way to start this off. So our vision right here at Milwaukee County is to achieve racial equity. And by doing so, we can become the healthiest county in the state of Wisconsin. And the reason why is because we know that for many generations, there have been a poor distribution and no investments in particularly communities that absolutely need it the most. And it's really led Milwaukee County being the third unhealthiest county in the state of Wisconsin. So we're committed to really addressing the structural factors that contribute to the policies and practices that support an interconnected structure of inequities across government institutions and businesses. And so for us, we know that we won't move the needle until we start to invest many of our resources upstream to address these root causes that we continue to see today.
Yes, sir. And one thing about it, this show is focused primarily on systemic racism and basically making the necessary changes so that we can see the narrative change. But when I'm talking to different people from all types of backgrounds, when they hear the term systemic racism, they automatically think that it's a person or a group of people hating another person or group of people because of the color of their skin. But in reality, systemic racism is dealing with those systems that were put in place many, many years ago that did not have people of color in mind, and with those systems still in place, they are not benefiting everyone across the board. So in your opinion, how has Milwaukee County been a tale of two counties?
Well, I mean, when you think about just our investments, right? I mean, Milwaukee County, when we've made investments that haven't necessarily been in communities of color or directly affected those who absolutely use our programs and services. And I think one of the things that we've seen this exacerbated with, particularly, is around COVID-19. You know, when we were, first talking about the need to get folks help and talk about the mitigation factors out there, you know, it affected the Black community the worst. And then we've seen how it ravaged through the Latino community. And so, you know, we know that there's been a tale of two counties in this pandemic. When you think about the economic impact it has had. For Milwaukee County, we've put $18 million, for example, into rental assistance to help people stay within their homes. And when you think about it, over 80% of the people who utilize that program were Black. And so we know that there's so much more that we need to do, but we, have to recognize the past and understand that there's so much more that we have to do to move forward.
Absolutely. You talk about intentional inclusion. Expound on that just a little bit.
So, you know, intentional inclusion is one, making sure that you are involving those that are directly affected by the decisions that we are making sure they're at the table. And not just making sure that they're at the table because you want to meet a quota, but you want to make sure that they're valued. You want to make sure that their voice is being heard and they understand the process that we're going through. And that's actually one of the pillars that we are using for one of our guiding principles. So we have created the first strategic plan for Milwaukee County in over 20 years. And creating intentional inclusion is one of those, making sure that our workforce reflects the full diversity of Milwaukee County. The second is bridging the gap in health disparities so that everybody in our communities have what they need to thrive. But the third is investing in equity. We truly have to put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, Milwaukee County is responsible for transportation through the airport, county roads, and the transit system. And I want to talk specifically about public transit and how you plan to achieve equity when we look at that aspect of things.
Well, one, I'll be the first to say, as a person who utilized the Milwaukee County Transit System to go to work, to go to school, um, almost my whole life as a child, Milwaukee County Transit Center means a lot to me. And when you think about it, every community needs to have a connection to job centers, to being able to go to doctor's appointments, getting to school. And so Milwaukee County Transit System is currently rolling out a major bus system redesign, which is called MCTS Next. And what this will do is going to help us streamline routing and increase frequencies on some of our most busiest routes without having to expand our system's budget. So we want to make it easier and more convenient for folks to take the bus. And so we're in rapidly going through this, but we're in advanced stages of creating a bus rapid transit system between Milwaukee and the Milwaukee Regional Medical Center in Wauwatosa. But I will say that there are still barriers for us to invest in transportation. When you think about our structural deficit, it really puts us in a position where we have to continue to look at cuts versus making investments. But we want to make sure that the county transit system continues to stay here. And I have to give a plug to the federal government because, we were looking at about a just over $10.5 million deficit with Milwaukee County Transit System. And if it wasn't for the CARES Act dollars that we received, we wouldn't be able to have our county transit system continue to run at the pace that it is. So until we can fix the rising costs that we're facing, until the state increases the operating assistance for our transportation, and until we can get our ridership revenues high enough, it's going to be difficult to make these investments. But I will tell you that I am extremely committed, and the county boards of supervisors are committed to making sure that we can strengthen MCTS, not just so you can get around through Milwaukee County, but also when you think about the surrounding areas where many of those jobs are that so many people are looking to employ at.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up because there was a 2017 report from the Public Policy Forum that showed that limited public transit is a barrier to getting unemployed residents into growing job markets in the city suburbs. And those people who actually rely on public transportation, they still may have to walk or even ride their bike to get to their final destination. And there's also statistics that show that in the U.S., race has always been a part of transit. So several years ago, we had what was called job lines that really did help get individuals out to Waukesha County and those other surrounding areas. So what has been done to kind of fill in the gap of what job lines was able to do at that time?
Absolutely. I would say that we've been looking at everything. I want to say that MCTS Next, this is one of the things that we're looking at to increase frequencies and be more efficient. But this is one of the reasons why we're also going to the state and requesting for a local option sales tax. We want to be able to invest in equity. We want to put the money where our mouth is, but it takes dollars to do so. And so when you think about Milwaukee County, for the past 10 years, we've cut almost $300 million from our budget. And as we look forward, we have to find an additional $20 million annually to cut. And when you think about it, just going from cut to cut to cut is not sustainable. And that's why we're asking for the local options for local option sales tax. One, we can reduce property taxes, but we can also make sure that programs that so many people absolutely want and need, whether we're talking parks, whether we're talking our Milwaukee County transit system, until we get additional revenues, we won't be able to fund these particular services in the next 6 years. So we're really looking at a fiscal cliff in 2027. And so we are relying on our partners at the state, the governor's administration, to get the local option sales tax over the goal line so we can make the investments and make Milwaukee County one of the continue to be an economic asset to the state, but also so we can compete globally for businesses and for the bodies needed to do the jobs that we want.
Yeah, that's all very important information for us to keep in mind. But in your opinion, are there any things that are currently in place that are currently being done that actually would be perpetuating structural racism?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that are being done, right? When you think about, the way that we currently do business, and not just within Milwaukee County government, because we are trying to change the way that we do business. But we can no longer continue to go with the status quo. We know that the data is telling us where we should invest dollars. But the issue is until the state of Wisconsin give us the ability to make these investments with something like a local option sales tax, we're going to continue to perpetuate racism. In order to break down these barriers, break down these silos, and create a situation when there's no longer a wrong door to go through in order to receive services, we have to make proper investments. And I would say that until we can all get on the same page in making sure that we get this done, we're going to continue to perpetuate racism. Milwaukee County can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. No one can do it alone. So it's going to take all of us coming to the table to make things happen. But I will say that, we all have a role in play, not only just getting over this pandemic, and I'm not just talking about COVID-19, I'm also talking about racism, because we've seen the detriment that it has caused many communities and the cycle of poverty that it's created for many individuals here within Milwaukee County. So we, have to keep talking about this. We have to keep pounding the drum. But I will say that we're changing the way that we do business, whether we're talking contracting, whether we're talking about how we deliver services to individuals. But it's important that, again, we encourage other municipalities, businesses, and everybody else to do everything they can to stop this cycle of racism that we continue to see here in this country.
Yes, and you talked about the importance of having everyone at the table. So diversity clearly plays a role in changing the status quo. But I think that it's important to probably have an opportunity to hear from all of your riders, not just those who are available to kind of tune in during meetings and things, but people from all backgrounds and ages and scenarios. So do you have anything set up to hear from those riders?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people can always go through the MCTS app to contact us. I would say you can always email me directly at countyexec@milwaukeecountywi.gov. I want to be accessible to everybody. I want to be one of the most accessible county executives that we've had because I come directly from this community. I grew up in the 53206 zip code, so I understand the needs that many of the people that we serve absolutely need. And so, please contact me directly. But I would also say that when you think about our Milwaukee County transit system, many of our drivers, the union, and many of our managers want to be able to respond to all of the concerns and questions that folks have. So please continue to reach out to us as much as possible to let us know how we can do better.
Well, I thank you so very much for taking the time out to talk to us today and really just reiterate the goals that you have in place to making Milwaukee County a better place for us all to live. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, sir. David Crowley is the 7th County Executive of Milwaukee County. His goal is for every resident across Milwaukee County, no matter their background, to get access to the services that they need and value for their tax dollars. And he also has a vision, as you just heard, for Milwaukee County to achieve racial equity in order to become the healthiest county in Wisconsin. When we return, I ride Route 34 with MCTS Community Outreach Coordinator Jacqueline Zeladon. We'll do that right after this.